Hey guys, so I'm continuing this backpacking basics series, and the question that I get asked all the time is, where do you poop? And so here we have a fine example of an AT privy. This is a pretty typical standard privy and what they look like. Some of them are significantly nicer, some of them are not as nice. I would rate this as a 4-star privy. In 2016 there was a hiker named Teddy that would write privy reviews between 1 and 5 stars, and there were a few 5-star privies out there. But let's head in and take a look. Now this is a moldering style privy, so we've got some wood shavings here. Think hamster cage, and that's kind of the idea. Basically what you do is you throw a handful in after you do your business, and that will dry out your poop. And what that does is allows an aerobic process to begin, and bacteria come in, they start breaking it down. It eliminates the odor pretty much immediately, and quite a few of the moldering privies actually utilize redworms as well. So what happens is, over time, maintainers will come and they'll rake it out, and sometimes it's more often, sometimes it's only like 3 times a year. And then it'll go into these bins back here that you can see, these like wooden containers. And at that point, like, all the pathogens are basically out of the material, and then they can sit in the sun and continue to break down, and then literally it's just like soil, and they just put it back on the forest floor, and it's just compost. So it's a really neat little system. Really like the moldering privies, because when they're being used properly and people are putting their handful of debris down in there, what happens is they often smell just like the pine chips or whatever the wood shavings are that they're using. You don't get this overwhelming odor of feces or anything like that. They're actually quite clean. And then sometimes they'll have a vent pipe as well. I don't think this one doesn't have a vent pipe. A lot of times they'll have a vent pipe, and then when the air blows across the vent pipe, it'll draw all the smell out of it as well. And the big thing is just, closing the privy after use to keep animals and stuff out of there, and to close the lid on the toilet to help keep the flies out. Because there's nothing like going down to the privy at 5:30 in the morning, and you've got your headlamp on, you sit down, and then like 16 flies come bubbling up past your genitals. Experiences that you only get on the AT. Things they don't tell you about out here. So that's it for that. As far as pooping without a privy, obviously you can dig a hole, and I've had to dig more cat holes this year than I ever have. I've been turned on to a phrase called brown blazing. It's when you're trying to get to the next privy. So lately I've just been pulling over and digging a cat hole, which pretty simple. Carry a trowel. They make a lot of ultralight trowels now. You just basically, I dig a hole, I take a little plug out of the ground basically. Usually there's enough matter there to hold it together. You do your business. I grab a stick typically, and I'll push my toilet paper underneath my poop so that it doesn't spring out of the ground. We call them toilet paper flowers out here, when you just get to fields where people have pooped and not buried their toilet paper sufficiently. So I always put it under my poop, and then boom, put the plug back down. I'll usually leave the stick sticking straight out of it, or put a little X over it. It's like, don't dig here, you're not going to like what you find. Andrew Shkurka has a really good video on pooping in the backcountry that's very thorough and totally worth a watch. But yeah, till next time. Still got to do the food video. We'll wait a little while after this one.